Welcome to the Science of Fiction HFY Galaxy Tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a new story from HFY Galaxy Tales. Where humanity always finds a way. The king's shame. The grand hall of planet Virel's royal palace was full of silence. The alien King Valthor stood tall, with his golden armor shining under the crystal lights. Around him sat the council generals, advisors, and old warriors of his race. All waited for his decision. Behind the king stood his only daughter, Princess Kyrene. She looked weak, her skin was pale blue, her hands shook, her body was thin and fragile. She had never held a weapon, never trained for war. Her voice was soft, her steps uncertain. She cannot lead, one general said loudly. She is not strong enough. She is not ready, said another. King Valthor stayed quiet. His eyes did not move from the floor. He loved his daughter, but deep inside, he knew they were right. The Virelians were a warrior race. They respected only power. And Kyrene was different. She was kind, gentle, always thinking, never fighting. She is a shame to your bloodline, a council member whispered. Valthor raised his head. His voice was cold, quiet, but strong. Then I will send her to the humans. Gasps filled the room. Humans, someone shouted. You will give your royal daughter to a human. Earth's people have something we do not, the king said. They turn weakness into strength, fear into fire. I will not watch my daughter be broken here. I will give her a chance. Kyrene looked up, shocked. The next day, a ship left planet Virel. Kyrene sat inside, alone, flying toward Earth. She had never met a human before. She had only heard stories of war, of madness, of courage. Some said humans were monsters. Others called them survivors, waiting for her. On Earth was Captain Jace Ward, a human soldier with battle scars, a cold voice, and a hard heart. He had trained warriors on 3 planets. He had never lost a student because only the strong survived his training. When Kyrene landed on Earth, she stepped out of the ship and looked around. The sky was gray. The air smelled like dust and smoke. Far ahead, a man stood near a training ground. Tall, broad, human. Captain Jace. He didn't bow. He didn't smile. You're the alien princess? He asked. Kyrene nodded. You look like you'll break in a day. Kyrene lowered her eyes. I don't want to break, she said quietly. Good, he replied, because I don't train weaklings. If you stay here, you work like a soldier. You cry, I don't care. You bleed, I won't stop. You fall, you get up. Understand? Kyrene took a deep breath. Yes, he threw a training bag at her feet. Your new life starts now. At night, Kyrene sat under a cold sky, holding her shaking hands. She had never felt so alone. No servants, no warm beds. Just dirt, cold air, and the echo of Jace's harsh voice in her head, but inside her chest. Something had started to burn, not fear. Something else, a question. Can I really become more? The fire inside her. The sun was still low when Kyrene was dragged out of sleep by a loud shout. Get up! Captain Jace's voice echoed across the training field. Kyrene opened her eyes. Her body hurt. Every muscle ached. She had slept on the ground with only a thin blanket. Her royal life felt like a dream now. She stood slowly. Her legs shook. Her arms felt heavy. Pick up the wooden staff, Jace ordered, pointing at the training weapon. Today, you learn to stand and fight. Kyrene looked at the staff. Her fingers closed around it, unsure and weak. Jace walked around her. You hold it like a scared child. That won't help when an enemy charges you. She tried to swing. Wrong, he said again. Too slow, again. Too soft. Hours passed, the desert sun grew hotter. Sweat ran down her face. Her arms screamed for rest, but Jace didn't stop. He kept pushing, correcting, shouting. You want to survive. You want respect. Then stop acting like a broken flower. Kyrene's hands bled, but she didn't let go. Days turned into weeks. Every morning began before the sun. Every night ended with bruises, pain, and silent tears. Kyrene ran through sharp rocks. She climbed cliffs. She trained with weapons. She fell again and again, but each time, she stood back up. Jace never praised her. But he didn't give up on her either. One night, as she tried to lift herself after a hard fall, she growled in anger. I can't, she shouted. Jace stood in front of her. Say that again, and I'll send you home. Kyrene looked at him. Her hands were shaking. Her lip was bleeding, but her eyes were burning. I won't say it again. Good, Jace said. Now get up. She did. One morning, during combat training, something changed. Kyrene blocked Jace's strike fast and clean. He nodded, she struck back. He blocked, but this time, there was power in her arms. Her movement was sharp, focused. She didn't look like a princess anymore. She looked like a fighter. Later that day, as they sat near the fire, Kyrene asked softly, "Why did you agree to train me?" Jace stared into the flames. "Your father begged. Said he saw something in you." "I didn't, not at first, but now, maybe I do." She looked away. "I never felt strong. I always failed back home," Jace replied. "Strength isn't given, it's earned. You're earning it." But peace did not last long. One night, an alarm went off near the training camp. Jace checked the radar. Kyrene came running. "What's happening?" He looked at her, his face serious. "You have visitors." From Virel, not friendly ones. A small alien strike team had landed nearby, sent by the council who had once called her shame. They didn't want her back. They wanted her gone. Erased. "They fear you," Jace said. "They know you're changing." Kyrene clenched her fists, "Then let them see how much I've changed." As the alien soldiers approached, Kyrene stepped forward in her training armor. She was no longer the silent, shaking girl from the throne room. She stood tall now, fierce, ready. Return of the Warrior Princess *. The alien strike team landed near the training camp with heavy steps and glowing weapons. Their armor was black. Their mission was clear: find the princess and eliminate her before she returned to Virel with power in her hands. They expected a frightened girl. They found a warrior. Kyrene stood at the camp gate, wearing her battle armor made from both human and alien materials. Her eyes, once full of fear, now burned with focus. Captain Jace stood beside her. "You don't have to do this alone." Kyrene shook her head. "I trained for this. If I run now, I'm still the weak girl they remember, but I'm not her anymore." Jace handed her a blade. "Then go show them." The first alien soldier rushed forward, roaring. Kyrene dodged left, spun, and struck his leg. He fell hard. Another swung at her with a pulse staff. She blocked it with her arm, guard, and kicked him back. Then she flipped over a boulder and took down two more with clean, fast strikes. Jace watched from behind cover. "She's not just fighting," he whispered. "She's leading." The rest of the alien attackers hesitated. This wasn't the broken princess they expected. This was something else. This was a fighter trained by a human. Kyrene moved through them like a storm, every strike full of purpose. Every step full of control. Even when she got hit, she stood again. She had learned to bleed. She had learned to endure. Now, she had learned to win. After the battle, the ground was silent. Smoke rose. The enemy had fallen. Kyrene stood at the center, armor scratched, but eyes steady. She looked at Jace. He smiled just a little. "Not bad, princess." She gave a small smirk. "I'm not a princess anymore." Weeks later, Kyrene returned to Virel, but this time, she didn't walk in with soft steps. She marched into the royal chamber with her blade at her side and her head held high. The same council that once called her weak now stared in shock. One general stepped back. "Is that really her?" King Valthor stood up. His eyes filled with emotion. "My daughter." Kyrene stopped in front of the throne. "I am no longer the shame of your name. I am your warrior. Your heir." A silence followed. Then, the king stepped down from the throne and bowed his head. "Forgive me," he said. "I only saw what you were. The humans saw what you could become." Later, as Kyrene prepared to return to Earth to continue her training, her father asked her one last question. "Do you still see yourself as weak?" She smiled. "No, father. I see myself as unfinished." Back on Earth, Captain Jace was waiting near the training field. When he saw her ship landing, he crossed his arms. "You're late," he said. Kyrene stepped out with a new blade on her back. "I had to handle a kingdom." Jace nodded. "Ready to train again?" Kyrene grinned. "Now I'm ready to train you."